Do me a favor, before you get all worked up and get into a big argument, fight, or conflict with the person that you love, make sure that the whole thing isn't starting because of an assumption or misunderstanding. I do a lot of couples counseling, and in therapy, couples come to session to unpack their differences and talk about whatever's causing them to get into these fights or arguments. And when both parties are calm, cool, and collective, when they're grounded and stable, when the dust is settled, when they're not emotionally charged, they're able to articulate exactly why they were feeling the way that they were feeling in the midst of an argument. And when you can trace that argument back to the onset, to the antecedent, to whatever was triggering someone, you realize that the whole thing could have been avoided. It all started because of an assumption or a misunderstanding. Someone fell victim to a cognitive distortion. They didn't hit pause and then seek to understand what the other person was trying to say. They just assumed that they knew what the other person meant. And then they started to emotionally react and their defenses went up. And once you do that, you're in the sympathetic. And once you're in the sympathetic, your prefrontal cortex is not online. That's the part that you reason and rationalize with. And without that part, your whole perspective is clouded. You're susceptible to say or do things you don't mean. And then the whole thing can just blow up and escalate from there. And it can ruin your day, your weekend, your relationship. If you don't learn how to hit pause and seek to understand, ask questions of them and of yourself. Is there any evidence to support this? Do I know this for sure? Should I clarify with the other person? Otherwise, you're susceptible. We can do the same exact thing with the relationship with ourselves. We're not just in a relationship with other people, we're in a relationship with ourselves, and we have 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. Some of those could be cognitive distortions, where you fall victim to illogical or faulty thoughts, which can cause you to have an emotional reaction. And then you spin down, right? The more you have those feelings, the more you have corresponding thoughts. The more you have those thoughts, the more it triggers negative feelings. And you're stuck in a feedback loop. And you can work yourself up into a frenzy. And then when the dust settles and you're really able to unpack where it all started, you realize that you made an assumption, that there was a misunderstanding in your own mind. Sometimes you have to slow down, you have to hit pause, and you have to ask yourself, is there any evidence to support this? Is there evidence to the contrary? Should I clarify? Is this thought going to trigger an emotional reaction, an unwarranted emotional reaction? Slow down. Don't fall victim to assumptions and misunderstandings. Otherwise, it will impede your relationship with other people and with yourself.